Water. Oops. Need water. Right. While I wait, let's get reacquainted with this guitar. Oh, of course you're out of battery. That shouldn't surprise me. Oh, shoot. There's a lot of readjustments that have to be made. One of them is remembering to have spare batteries up here. Just a second, guys. Just a second. Okay. The batteries have been moved since I left. Here they are. They were up here all along. Perfect. Ugh. Gosh. Okay. Now we should be good. Now we should be all set. Anybody here yet? I'm not. Okay. Guess I shouldn't be surprised that the batteries died while I was gone. Even though it just sat here. Man, they make these difficult to open. Open! Oh my gosh. Give me the batteries! Oh, there we go. Should have thought of that. Break it like an egg. There we go. Give me our battery. I made a huge mess. I should just move the trash can a lot closer to my streaming station. Hi. Oh my gosh. Okay, people are coming in. Hello, Siri. Hello, Swans. Hello, Keith. How is everyone? Hi, Ricky. Oh my gosh, and Peanut and Aaron. Oh my gosh. Hi. Oh my gosh, what a relief to see you all. I miss you all so much. Hi, Ricky. Thank you for the amazing. Oh man. I probably gotta refresh the widgets. Oh, well, okay. At least we got that. We got that going. But yeah, if I tried to refresh the widgets, it would probably crash this whole thing. And we're just barely getting it started. ooh, organs are good today. Ricky, the organs are all functioning almost at 100%. We've got a little bit of work to do on lung capacity yet, but we're doing good. Oh yeah, that's what I missed. I don't look too sick, do I? Do I sound sick? I know that I sound a little bit breathless. But I promise you it doesn't feel too weird. It doesn't feel too ow. Out of the ordinary. I tried to sing a little bit yesterday, and it was kind of cool because like my body just like I've been singing for so long that it like knew what to do. It was like, oh, okay, we don't have much air today. Well, we'll just make do. And then it just kind of like adjusted it, and then it was fine. So that's what I'm anticipating. If we get to music today, then that's gonna be how it goes. Oh, computer, don't freeze on me. I know you're having a hard time. You haven't done this in a while, and you're not used to it. Let me close out some apps. It looks like there's some open that might be slowing me down a little bit. Lovely. Quit. Aw, Keith, thanks for the hugs and for the amazing. You're surprised to see my hair brown again. Oh man, yeah. I figured I would go with a more natural look today. So you guys have got to hear this. It was the craziest thing. Like when I first got to the hospital, I was once I knew what had happened, I was very intrigued by the fact that I sang 2 gigs. Like I streamed with you guys for 2 days while my lung was already popped. And I went back and I watched them, and it was really funny because morbidly funny. Like, I'm sorry if you don't find this funny, but I just thought it was very interesting that like the first day after I like woke up and it was messed up, I sat down and I was telling you guys, I'm like, I've got the worst like back pain, like everything's all weird over here. It feels weird. And I was like, it's fine though. I took some ibuprofen. I'm sure it'll go away. And then the next day, like, holy cow, you guys, I was so off. And that was exactly what I said too. I was like, guys, I don't know what's wrong, but something is off. Something is off. Oh my gosh. And and I just remember like hardcore struggle busting on like every song. I was like, whenever I had to like really go for air, it's like, where is it? So I don't know. Do you guys want to do story time? Like, it's a long story. There's a lot that goes on, and I think there's a lot that I'll edit out just so that you guys don't get like sad and upset. Like, yeah, Keith, thankfully I didn't have to have brain surgery or anything. I didn't have to have anything shaved. Don't worry if I cough. Coughing is a good thing. It's a good workout for getting my lung all nice and expanded. And yeah, again, don't worry about the breathlessness. I've still got a little bit less lung capacity. Yeah, that's exactly it, Aaron. Like, I'm like sitting here with like 30% of my lung gone, and I'm like, man, this year's allergies are really something. Oh man. So the thing that I definitely want to show you guys, so that second day, for those of you guys who were here on that show on Saturday, which is insane because it's 2 weeks ago. My lung was already popped 2 weeks ago, guys. It popped, I think, on Thursday night 2 weeks ago. But it could have popped before then, and it just got worse then. That's the thing. They don't really know how long I was just putting up with it. And they don't know what caused it. There's no insight there. It's So my condition is called a spontaneous pneumothorax. And it just means that my lung very randomly decided to burst a hole. Nothing happened. No problems, and no health problems either. I can reassure you guys of that. I had so many tests done. Every test you can think of, except maybe an MRI. Everything else done. I did so many EKGs. I did a CT scan. I had a thing monitoring me constantly. I had an ultrasound and an echocardiogram. It's just, the list goes on. And everything else, my vitals were always tip top shape. Even when my lung was popped, they were really surprised that I walked in, because they're like, your oxygen content is really high for how little lung you have left. Oh, Diana, hello. Hi, it's so good to see you. Oh my gosh. I don't know if I've ever seen you in one of my streams before. I'm really flattered. Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it. So I guess if we're gonna take it easy on music and try to tell this story today, that'd be good, because you guys are all here, so I'll only have to tell it once. Thank you, Diana. Thank you. So far, so good. I went on a really nice walk, and I'm still on pain medication, but while I'm on the pain medication, I feel pretty normal. I just feel a little bit more breathless. Thank you for the hug. Thank you for the hug, Diana. There's one for you too. So yeah, we don't really know when or why it popped, but the thing about this condition is it's usually it feels embarrassing to say. It's usually tall, young, skinny, thin-framed people. And usually boys. It's usually boys. That's why I don't really fall into that risk category, because I'm not a boy. So they don't really, I kind of stumped a lot of people, and they weren't really looking for a pneumothorax in someone like me, I guess, especially as a singer and a runner and a traveler. It was really really strange and really out there. I'd actually heard of pneumothorax before I got it, because it's pretty common in Japan, because there's so many young, tall, skinny, thin-framed people. And in Japan, it's really funny. It's known as ikemenbyo, which and ikemen is a handsome dude, a good-looking guy, a hunk. And they have this disclaimer. They're like, just because you're a good-looking guy, it doesn't mean you're gonna get this condition. But the probability of you being tall, skinny, and thin-framed and young when you're an ikemen, when you're a good-looking guy, is pretty high. So the probability of you popping a lung is also pretty high. So yeah, so that's oh man. Yeah, Diana, he does a really good job. He does a good job taking care. But yeah, so I got good-looking guy disease, and that's what that was all about. Gosh, I keep interrupting myself. So for those of you who were there, that show on Saturday, I was so out of it because I was already really scared. What had happened was I got the pain under control with some ibuprofen, but that night, I had to go to bed early because I was really, really just completely out of sorts. And when I laid down, I think I was watching videos, or I was watching or I was listening to music, and I had these on, which you guys know, these are huge and they're noise isolating and they're really good headphones, right? And so I was sitting there listening to music, and I'm like, what is that annoying noise? I'm at first I thought there was a drummer in the back who didn't know what was going on, someone sitting there with not a cowbell, but one of those ticker things. I'm there's somebody back there and they're off tempo and it's really annoying. And then I went to the next song and it was still happening. I'm where is that coming from? I'm who is drumming out of tempo? I'm what the heck is that noise? And so I lifted my headphones off, and that ticking noise was coming from my chest. like really loud. I'm talking, I could hear it over the music through my headphones, loud. And I was very disconcerted, obviously. And I immediately like rolled onto my side to Google, like, why is my heart ticking? And when I rolled onto my left side, that was when things like really spazzed out. Like my heart started like gurgling and flip-flopping and making all of these really upset noises. Like it felt like indigestion, but in my heart, and it was clicking. And I was really disturbed by this, but I was so scared of it that I didn't really like tell anyone except for like my mom and my best friend. And I really should have immediately reached out to like the health professionals in my family to be like, yo, something's up. So I have a recording of it because I just couldn't believe it. Right. So I was lying there and I put the phone on my chest like this, and I didn't move it, so you don't hear like fabric noises. I just went ding, record, and then ding, stop recording, right? So this is wild, guys. Are you ready for this? This is a recording that stumped medical professionals all over my town and kind of all over the state too, because we sent it around. All right, so it's funny because I kind of want to like take this recording and like mix a beat with it. Which is like really weird, but I think it'd be a good way to like just like move past this and like embrace it, but yeah. So are you ready? This is what my heart sounded like Friday night after my lung had popped. So I'm sure you can hear I've got like an arrhythmia. My heartbeat's going weird and it's clicking. Really, really strange stuff to hear that audibly coming out of your chest. And yeah, you're right, Aaron. That is not allergies. yeah, drop a beat. Chicka boomba, chicka boomba, chicka boomba. It was so nuts. Oh my gosh. But yeah, so I sent, the next day I was scared enough that I'm like, I need to start asking questions. And, here's the cool thing. I have a doctor brother, a PA sister, a PA sister-in-law, and a doctor uncle, and a nurse sister-in-law, and, and I feel like there are more. But I have a lot of medical professionals in the family that we're in regular touch, and any little thing, they're like, nah, it's fine. It's nothing. But this time, when I sent them the recording, we were obviously worried. I was most scared that it was obviously coronavirus because I'm having trouble breathing. And I just know that there's so many strange presentations of coronavirus that you never really know, like, what symptoms it's going to come up with. So I was really concerned about, there's no way I could have gotten it. I'm like, I've been safe. I've been away from people. Like, I've been doing everything right for, months. I'm like, if I got coronavirus, I'm going to be pissed because I followed all the rules and I just, I stayed away from everyone for months. And, yeah. So that's right. Now I have a respiratory therapist friend named Aaron. But yeah, I was really scared about that. So I reached out to my family and then we sent the recording. And as soon as they sent the recording, they're like, you need to go into, my doctor uncle was like, you need to see a specialist right now, like a heart specialist. And everybody else was like, let's start with, you need to go into urgent care, look for an urgent care nearby that has, an EKG machine, which I'm not sure. I think everybody knows what an EKG is. It's like they hook up all these funny little nodes all over. At the urgent care, they even put them on my feet. I was like, what are you doing? My heart is up here. But I haven't talked this much. But yeah, so they did the EKG and it was relatively normal. The arrhythmia didn't spark up or anything, But the tech left the room, and I'm in there with my mom, and we're like scared because we're like, this is an urgent care where they do coronavirus testing, like, and we're like, we've got masks and stuff, and we're like gloves, and nobody touch me, nobody come near me. I was wearing like my ugliest possible clothes because I was like, I'm gonna like just get these off and not wear them again, and so I was wearing jeans that were like, they were like hanging off of me, and I was wearing this massive sweater with a hole in it, and like my old work shoes that are like all floppy and gross, and I was such a mess. And I'm like, it's fine because I'm going into urgent care, whatever. And I even had like my biggest glasses on because I was trying to protect my eyes, right? So the EKG was normal. Doctor comes in and he's like, "You're fine. It's just anxiety. Sometimes your heart gets going and then you think it's something and then you get anxious and then it goes faster." And I'm like, I know what anxiety is and that is not it. And you don't click when you're anxious. Like, oh my God. So I like whipped out my phone. I'm like, listen, buddy, like this is my heart. And he's like, he had ignored me when I said my heart was clicking the first time. He's like, mechanical heart valves do that sometimes. And I'm like, I don't have a mechanical heart valve. I'm 25. I've never had heart surgery. And when he heard the recording, like instantly he just like changed. He's like, let's get a chest x-ray. So yeah, then they took the chest x-ray, and my lung was severely deflated. It was when it's like a mild pneumothorax, if it's like 5% deflated or like even up to 25% deflated, I think they usually kind of draw the line around 20%. Then you might be able to just like, if it's really mild, you can just like let it be, and it'll kind of heal. The hole will heal over, and then your lung will expand back, and you'll be cool. And like a little bit more than that, then you might need some kind of like chest tube treatment. So I was at 30%, and he was really alarmed. He was like, I don't know why you're walking around and breathing fine. I don't know why your oxygen is at 100%, but you need to go to the ER right now. And he's like, I want to call an ambulance, but if you swear to God that you're going straight there, that your mother is going to drive you straight there, I'm going to call ahead and they're going to be ready for you. So yeah, I didn't want to do that. Like, he said that, and I was like, when he first said you need to go to the hospital, I was like, well, can I go home and change first? Can I like grab some stuff from home? Like, can I, I'm like, I just want to, and he's like, no, straight there, now, out the door, now. So we went to the ER, and they too, so they couldn't access anything from the urgent care. All they knew is that I had a pneumothorax. They didn't really know, they couldn't access like the EKG or the x-ray. So they're like, we have to do this all over again. But they brought me up to the ER, immediately got my chest x-rayed, and immediately started doing all these tests, the very first blood draw of many, and like all this nonsense. Some guy who was like training on ultrasounds, he's like, so I heard there's something goofy with your heart. And he's like, I've been training on ultrasounds. You mind if I like try to ultrasound your heart? And I'm like, I don't care. and they did another EKG, and they had all my vitals, and they're like, everything looks good. This is weird. It must not be that bad of a pneumothorax. And then they saw the x-ray, and they're like, okay, we need to get a chest tube now. Like at this second. And so, yeah, so immediately, in the ER, they put in what's called, I hope anybody squeamish, just like whenever I start with this, like plug your ears. There's something called like a pigtail catheter, it's called a pigtail because it's like really, really small, really thin, really little. And, that was what they put right about here. Because I think this is where all the nonsense was happening. And that's why my heart was freaking out, it turns out. I asked them about that immediately. I'm like, what's going on with my heart? Is that the pneumothorax? Is it, what is it? And they're saying that, well, it's making my heart work harder because, it's compensating. And the other thing was, it seemed like my lung was like physically, because it was so deflated, it was interacting weirdly with my heart. Like it might have been like kind of folding around my heart, like giving it a little hug. And then, bubbles are coming out and just everything was making weird noises because of that. They still had to do a lot of heart tests to make sure that there wasn't anything. And because my family, all of the golden five were all hounding the hospital every 5 seconds. But yeah, so they immediately put the little catheter in, and they hooked me up to this drain thing that, oh my gosh, you're like constantly hooked up to the wall that's going, sucking things out, and then that thing feeds into like this little square dude, and he was my friend for like a week. Like just constantly had this guy around me. And so the whole point of that, right, is you get the air out of there, because there's not supposed to be air outside of your lungs. It's all supposed to be inside of your lungs. And the problem was that leak had sprung and air was coming out of my lung into my chest cavity. And that's a problem. If it gets too bad, then you have what's called a tension pneumothorax, which I believe everything just starts to like morph and get into bad positions, and that can be fatal. So they wanted to do the chest tube thing immediately, because they don't want it to get any worse. 30% is already pretty bad. Don't let it go any further. So they did that right away, and then sent me up there, and then they had to do a million other tests where they the cool one was like the echocardiogram was really cool. Send me down to this like chill little room with this like chill little lady, and it felt like kind of like an ultrasound, but and it looked like an ultrasound too, like on the screen, but it was my heart. And it was so cool because she did this like little thing where she made the blood flow. I think it was like maybe like thermo, whatever you call it, thermovision, thermoscope. It was like thermo activated or whatever. So you could see like the hot spots and everything. And it was so cool because like it made my heart look like it was like all like rainbow psychedelic, super cool. And so she did it from all these different angles, and we got to see like every chamber of my heart and like every single little valve doing its work, right? And that was cool because, we were worried about a heart valve issue, obviously. And we were able to ascertain that like blood flow looked good, all the heart valves are working, and it was super cool because like I got to see all that, and I got to hear all of the different valves. It's really interesting. They all make different sounds. They like some of them are like more swishy, and some of them are more like thumpy. Like it was really cool. So rest assured, everybody, there's nothing wrong with my heart. They were monitoring my heart for the whole time I was in there, and they did the EKG, the echocardiogram. They did all kinds of chest x-rays. I had chest x-rays every single day. And that's also how I know that I don't currently have coronavirus. I might have been exposed while I was in there, so we're still kind of waiting around to see if anything happens, but it should be fine because they took really good care. Every single time anyone came anywhere near me, you see them, they hand sanitize, they wash their hands, and they put on gloves, and everyone's wearing a mask. And then when they leave the room, they do all the same. Get rid of the gloves, hand sanitize, wash your hands. It was really I felt very safe. And anytime I went out of my room, I was wearing a mask. So should be fine. But we know that at the time that I left the hospital, there was nothing in my lungs that showed coronavirus symptoms. They have like a, what do they call it? Like broken glass fissures or something weird. Apparently it looks like glass. I don't know. But they didn't see that in my lungs. So we can rest assured there for now. I'll keep you guys updated, but I'm pretty sure I'm fine. But yeah, so we had the little pigtail guy, and that was horrible. At the time, that was the worst experience in my life because it's a procedure, and it's done bedside, so they don't put you under. There's no anesthesia, and you're awake while these people are over you, like digging into you, and it was very, very scary and very, very painful. Even though, they gave me like 2 different kinds of pain meds and they numbed the area. which even numbing it really hurt. Like, it felt like, at the dentist when they numb you and it's like, God, get that away from me, and ow, like that in your chest is not very fun. But I got through it. It was all good, and then we kind of spent a couple days just waiting for that thing to work. It's supposed to be taking the air out and allowing my lung to re-expand. And they're constantly monitoring it, always checking my vitals every 3 hours all through the night, and making sure that I'm breathing well and that the tube is doing fine. And I'm watching this thing. It's this cool little pumpy guy, and like there's this little it was really weird. There's like a palm tree on it for some reason, and there's this little like gauge full of blue fluid, and that would be how I could see that like bubbles were coming out of my chest and they were getting it out of there. Like it was like blub 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 blub, and I'm like, holy cow, that's a lot coming out. And so we did that for like a day or two, and we were expecting to get it out because we figure we're all good. My lung is almost fully re-expanded. Hopefully we can just pop it out and send me home. And my surgeon he was just a little bothered when he came in. And he brought all of his equipment and he expected to pop it out. And he came in and he's like, something's not right. And when you cough, there's still bubbles. We're going to wait another day. We wait another day, and the x-ray shows that my lung went right back down again. So that was when things started to get complicated. Like, I should have been home and out that day, but just something went wrong. And so he came to examine it, and it turned out there was a huge kink in my tube. There was like a complete kink in the tube. Right, kind of like in like the early part of the tubing when it was still pretty thin. Like it got thick down at the bottom, but it was very thin up at the top. And there was a kink, so it wasn't pulling any air out anymore. And so we're like, oh, okay, no problem, easy fix, right? So we unkink it, and we're like, awesome, now it should expand. Now we just gotta wait another few days, and then we can pop it out, right? But then the next day, I was back down to 30% again, and they're like, oh, what's going on, So that's when we started talking about our alternatives, which it's sort of a 3-step process. The first step is, the pigtail catheter. The second is a chest tube, and those are a lot bigger, and they go in like down by your ribs rather than up here. And then the third step is surgery. And I was obviously very frightened to be told that. One, I didn't want any more tubes because the little one hurt enough. I can't imagine the big one, right? And I don't want surgery because, oh my God, surgery, So, I was very scared. But he explained it all to me, and I had been up all night reading medical journals because that was how I helped myself sleep for some reason. It was also how I got myself very anxious, but it's all good. I had read about the surgery, and back in the day, the surgery would have involved opening everything up. They call it a thoracotomy, and it's everything's open, and it's very dangerous, very painful, and the pain can last a lifetime. You're talking chronic pain that just doesn't really ever go away. And so that, thank God, they don't do that really very often anymore unless it's emergency circumstances, or if it's a really bad, if it's your third time having a pneumothorax, then they might, it's more of a mess. Especially other people that have pneumothorax, it can be because of lung conditions, it can be because of smoking, CPD, emphysema, all different kinds of lung conditions that can really complicate it. And so for me, they would be able to do what's called the VATS, which is video assisted thoracoscopic surgery, right? And that just means that they go in through a little hole, and what they do is they first find the hole in the lung, they seal that off, and they get rid of any tissue that's messed up. And then what they have to do, it's really strange. There's something called pleura that's inside, and it's around your lung, and it's also on your chest wall, and it's this just nice slidey material that ordinarily when you breathe, your lungs just kind of sliding past it just fine. But there's room there. And the room there is what caused the problem. Like when you've got space for an air leak and an air leak happens, then all of a sudden your lung starts, and then as that air gets more and more, your lung is collapsing because of the pressure, right? So what they want to do is get that pleura to adhere. So right now, after the surgery, my lung is actually stuck to my chest wall, like it's stuck to my rib cage, and there's no space there anymore. He went in there and he kind of like, I don't want to like gross you guys out. He just sort of there's a couple different ways. Some places use talc to like make a chemical irritation. I'm not so thrilled about talc, and neither was my surgeon, especially for a 25-year-old. He's like, you don't need talc in your system all the rest of your life. And other places, they go in there and they kind of rough it up. And what my surgeon did is he would actually like remove some of it so that then when it healed, it was healed to the lung. So that was the surgery, and I'm like, it's minimally invasive. It's still a dangerous procedure because any cardiothoracic surgery, when you're going into the chest, it's high risk because there's a lot going on in there, and there's a lot that can go wrong. But it's also one of the most routine procedures. It's one of the most commonly done thoracic surgeries. So I was like not as afraid of it, but obviously still afraid. But the other thing is, all of the medical journals I was reading, they were talking about how common it is for this to recur. And I was thinking about this, and I'm looking at, they're like, yeah, you can get it treated with a chest tube, or you can let it reabsorb and all that. But that still leads to a really high recurrence rate down the road. They're like, we are still actually investigating recurrence rates because we're finding that we're not following people long enough, and that recurrence could happen anywhere from next week to next month, next year, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. And they've seen people. I actually know someone that had 2 pneumothoraces 10 years apart. And I'm like, I don't want this hanging over my head. I'm a singer. I like to travel. I like to run. Like, I don't always want to be thinking, like, don't pop lung, don't pop, easy there. Like, that's not how I live my life. I live my life like, wah, like crazy all over the place, jumping all around. Like, I don't want to be constantly worried about my lung. So I was like a little bit crestfallen when I was reading these articles because I'm like, but I'm getting the chest tube treatment. Like, I'm getting that treatment, and you're telling me this is going to have a recurrence. Whereas with the VATS, recurrence rate goes way down. And that is kind of actually the recommended treatment for someone like me who uses their lungs a lot and who travels a lot. Because if this happens abroad, it's obviously a lot more complicated. And all of the changing pressure, air pressure that you go through in a plane, that really can exacerbate, the condition. So it was kind of clear to me that was the right way to go. And I was just nervous about it, right? So it should have been quick, and I should have gotten the surgery the next morning. But my family threw a little bit of a fit because we actually have a history with our local hospital. My dad was there for a very long time with a non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and he did very well. He fought it for a very long time. He had it twice in my lifetime, and the second time he was doing pretty good at the time, right around when I was 11, and he was doing pretty good, and everything seemed fantastic and fine. And he went into the hospital for something very routine, I believe, and they decided to do this very unorthodox, is that the right word? I'm just gonna say very quack surgery on him, where they opened a massive hole in his chest and to get fluid out. And it was really a wild procedure that's never done, that no one's heard of, that we don't understand why it happened. And it knocked him off his feet, drastically lowered his immunity, which is already down. And he actually ended up passing away in the hospital after that. And so that surgeon still works there. And my family was very concerned about me getting that surgeon, or about just in general how I would be treated in the hospital. There's a lot of bad blood there, and my family freaked out, and they were trying to get me transferred. My insurance wouldn't cover the transfer, but what it meant was that I got a 2-day delay because I lost my slot the next morning, and then all of these trauma cases kept coming in and filling up his board. So I waited for 2 days after that to get the surgery. And I was really nervous because, they kept they're like, we're going to try to squeeze you in. And what it meant is that I just spent 2 days not really eating, because they're not allowed to eat before surgery. So I spend the whole day like, oh man, I'm so hungry, but it's okay. It's for the surgery. I just got to wait for the surgery, and then it would get to be like really late at night, and they're like, listen, order a meal. It's not going to happen tonight. Eat as much as you can before midnight, and then you have to stop again. So that happened for 2 days, and these complicated cases would keep coming in. And finally, it was a Saturday, actually, that we finally got to the surgery. And I was doing fine. My lung was starting to kind of reinflate, and it was doing well. It was actually starting to heal a little bit right before the surgery. And I was less in pain because of the chest tube and more in pain because of like really bad caffeine headaches. You guys know how much I love coffee. And in the hospital, like, their coffee's just not that strong. And so I was getting these horrible migraines. And oh my God, my nurses were so scared because they're like, what's wrong? What's happening? And I'm just like, I don't need coffee. Oh man, it was so bad. It was these big pulsing migraines. And not being able to eat or not being able to drink coffee, I'm like, it was really bad. So it was really nice. My surgeon came in on a Saturday and did my procedure first thing in the morning. And it was like very scary, but like beforehand I felt very reassured and in good hands, because by that point I had a really good relationship with my surgeon, and I knew that he was very good with making the right decisions. If he had pulled it the first time when he was supposed to pull it, I would have gone home and my lung would have collapsed again. And then I would have had to gone back in and get the thing back in again, and that would have been horrifying. So he made a lot of the right decisions over and over and over again. And every time we would talk, like, all of the information he would present to me would be right on par with what I just read in a medical journal. I'm like, he knows what he's talking about, and he can answer all of my questions. It's very reassuring. And he never pushed me in any one direction. He never was like, we need to get surgery. Let's do surgery. You need to do surgery. It's the only thing to do. He's a surgeon, and like, that's the trope, is that the surgeon is going to be like, surgery, 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 surgery. He was not like that at all. He only ever put all the options on the table from the very beginning. From the second we met, he was saying, this is what could happen. You might need to have surgery, okay? If this, he's like, your recurrence rate, it can be there's a high potential for recurrence. And if there is recurrence, you're going to be looking at surgery. And he just the whole time, he was always very upfront with me and explained all of the options, pros and cons of everything. And so I trusted him completely going into surgery. I knew he would do a good job. I knew he was looking out for me. And he also had told me so many times that yours is going to be so quick and so easy compared to what I've been doing. He's like, you're 25. You have nothing wrong with you whatsoever except the lung. And it should be very quick. It's a first-time pneumothorax. It'll be fine, So I felt very confident going to the surgery. I was a little bit scared of general anesthesia, but they also reassured me of that. They're like, you're very low risk for that. No problem. Should be fine, And so that I was fine going in. But they told me that like that pain would be managed before I woke up, and something went goofy there. The pain medication that they tried to use for post-op pain didn't really work. And so I woke up in this like crazy nightmare state, like worst pain in my life. And you're like really disoriented too, because you like just woke up from anesthesia, and I was just in wild, awful pain. And they were really confused because they're like, she shouldn't be hurting. We did all this. Why isn't this working? And so they couldn't really talk to me. So they actually called my mom and to get permission for what's called a nerve blocker. which is really insanely cool technology. Like, they were able to pinpoint exactly the right nerve that covers, like, here, like, all of this, only on the left side. It was amazing. I'm like, how on earth do you work that out? Like, it blows my mind, because, you know, as soon as they got that in, all of this just kind of like, I'm like, oh, okay. Like, we're fine now. And I went back to sleep. And I'll never forget, like, I was lying there and I was in so much pain, and you tense up, and that makes it worse, right? And I don't know who it was or how they knew anything about me, except for the fact that everyone at the hospital called me Miss VIP because of all the phone calls from doctors all over the state. But there was someone there that they put a hand on my shoulder and they said, think of happy things. I want you to think about singing in Japan. And like, that was everything that I needed to hear right then, because I started going through lyrics in my head and I was whispering lyrics to myself, and like, I was able to just relax, and then they could treat me, and then it was, we were good, you know? So whoever that person was, I don't know. I didn't see them. I only heard them. I don't know their name, but I'm really grateful to them. And there were so many experiences like that, you know, where you don't know who did it or how they did it, but there was someone there that was just like a little angel for you. And it's just part of how amazing the experience really was. And so, yeah, the nerve blocker, that was great. Until it wore off. And they still hadn't worked out what medication to give me. So as soon as that started wearing off, I was in massive pain again. And they were giving me this medication called Dilaudid, and that apparently was like my enemy, because they got me on a goofy little button. Like, there's a little green button, and every 15 minutes it would light up and I would push it. And then I would get the pain medication, and it wasn't doing anything. Like, it was keeping me from like going insane, but it was still like, it was a lot of pain, and it kept getting worse. So my poor surgeon comes in, and he's expecting to see me like, you know, like at least upright and like doing decently. But like, oh my God, the worst thing happened. It was like 8 a.m. or something like that. And I always woke up early because like they would start like x-rays and blood draws at like 4 a.m. And so I was up early, and I like ordered my breakfast. Breakfast came, and I was like, yeah, I'm alive. I'm outside of surgery. We're doing good. And I called my mom to reassure her, to tell her like, I'm doing great. Look, you can hear my voice. I sound good. I'm about to have breakfast. It's great. And instead what happened, my breakfast came. I'm on the phone with my mom. And I set the phone down and have it on speaker. And then I leaned forward to like take a bite of oatmeal, and like insane pain. Like, I just lost my mind. And so they again, they're just trying to treat it with that same medication. And my surgeon comes in, and I'm like sobbing and yelling and like, you know. And he's so mad, and my mom is still on the phone, and she hears him, and he's like, this is clearly not working. Get her off of this one. I want her on morphine, and, you know, get this out of here and stop doing that. And the poor guy. And so they had me put on morphine instead. And what happened then is the pain went away. Great. But then I started to like react to all these medicines, and I got full body itching. It was horrible. Like, it's not just like a little like, you know, it's like, no, everything that can itch does itch. Like, inside your ear and your shoulder and your back and your stomach and your legs and your feet and your toes, like everything. You can't, like, I couldn't stop moving. Like, it's like just constant like, you know. And so then they're giving me medication to try and treat the itching. And that's making me hallucinate. Like, I'm sitting there, and I'm like looking at the clock on the wall, and I'm watching it like like creep across the wall. I'm like, what is that? Like, why is that moving? You know? Oh my gosh. And then the other thing is that they all these medications are causing drowsiness. So I'm trying to text people to like reassure them, and I'm just like like nodding off every 5 seconds. And my poor mom is on the phone this whole time, because she's like, do not hang up. I am not hanging up until I hear that you're not in pain and you're not in itching anymore. So she was on the phone for like 5-6 hours while I'm out of my mind, essentially. Like, oh my gosh. And no, I'm reading the chat, Tyler, I promise. I'm just trying to get through the story. So we finally got the pain under control, and I'm like, I gotta get off morphine because I already had one sleepless night because of the itching, and it was bad, and I just want to sleep. And I had like cold washcloths all over me, and and I just wanted to get off of that. And so then they kind of kept up with a different pain medication that just kind of kept things dull. It didn't really get rid of it, but it kept things dull. And then the next day I was doing great, and I went for a walk. For the first time. I got to go outside of my room and go for a walk, and I was really excited about that, and it went super great. And I noticed that like I was a little bit more tired than usual, and like it was hard, even just walking really, really slow. But I got kind of to the end of the walk, and I was like talking. I was pretty good buddies with all my nurses at that point, and yeah, Tyler, I'm sorry. Normally I'm playing music right now and like talking to you guys. But I just got out of the hospital, so I'm telling everybody like what happened, and then hopefully like once I tell the story once, like everybody knows it, and then I don't have to tell it a million times because it's so long. So I got done with my walk, and I'm talking to my nurse, and she's like, "Well, you're doing so great. Like you should check out through there. There's these double doors, and they lead out to what was like a lobby type waiting room." And the hospital is closed to visitors, so there's nobody out there, and it's just like empty, and there's like this huge wall of windows, and I'm like, cool, it'll be like being outside, you know. So I go through the double doors, and it's really pretty. There's like this awesome elevator bank, like all made out of stone, and it's really cool, and I'm like loving to feel like to see all of the outside, even though it was rainy. That's another story. And I'm doing really good, you know, and I'm like, okay, but I'm still a little tired. So I turned to go back to my room, and then like that was when like the new stuff started. Like it turns out that like one of my chest tubes, after the surgery they had to leave in 2 chest tubes to keep draining things, right? And these were a lot bigger and awful, and I hated them, and that was pretty much why I was in so much pain. And one of those chest tubes was, this is our hypothesis anyway, it was against like a nerve ending or something, and it was irritating a nerve. And so I'm there, and I'm all by myself in this big lobby, and there's no nurses around. I don't have like a call button, and the doors are shut, and I'm like, oh my God. I turned to go back to my room, and I honestly thought that someone jumped out of somewhere and took a sword and like put it through me, because it was this crazy, it started in the back and it like burst out the front, and it was horrible. It was hot, burning, like electrical shock, like ripping, awful. And that is apparently what nerve pain is. And it's out of nowhere. Like, it's just your body sending these signals to your brain. There's nothing, you didn't get hit. I didn't get stabbed, didn't get shot. I was fine, except for something was bumping against a nerve. And, oh, thank you, Sandra. Thank you. I'm really feeling a lot better. And thank you for dropping in. I love you, Sandra. And so it was like debilitating, and it wasn't something that you could like treat with the pain meds that I was on. And it was really scary because I thought that I like ripped something, and I thought I was bleeding. Like I was like trying to keep it all in. And I'm like screaming at the top of my lungs, but nobody can hear me because I'm by myself, and I'm like, everything's all sealed off. And oh my God, I was so scared. Like I'm like, I can't fall down. You know, if I fall down, no, they're gonna take too long to find me, and I can't sit because it hurts. And oh my God, I was so terrified. And I'm like, I just got to make it across the room. I got to make it to those double doors. And once I made it, like it was instantly they saw me and they came running and they got me, situated in a wheelchair, and things just settled down from there. But like, that was like the hardest thing. That was the hardest thing ever, was just trying to make it across that room, and you're thinking the whole time that you're dying because you don't understand what's going on. And just the worst pain I've ever, like, I didn't know you could have that kind of pain, And so from then on, like, it was just like a race to get the chest tubes out, because the attacks kept happening, and there was the medication that can treat nerve pain, it takes a while to build up in your system to work. So they're like, by the time we got it working, you're going to have those tubes out anyway, So it got to be like 3 days after my surgery, and I only had one tube left to get taken out, and that day was awful because I couldn't sit because it hurt. I couldn't stand because it hurt. I couldn't walk because it hurt. I couldn't lie down because it hurt. You just never knew when it was going to hit. And you never knew what position. Like, every single thing, just, there's no comfort, So I'm like shuffling around like a mad woman, and I didn't sleep. And so I'm like falling asleep on my feet, and just, it was awful. That day was terrible. And I'm just praying that, like, please let the surgeon come through the door and just get this thing out. Like, everyone was telling me, they're like, I'm pretty sure this pain is going to go away as soon as you get it out. As soon as you get it out, it's going to be good. And so I'm just waiting on that. And I spend most of the day looking out the window because it's raining really hard. And I could see, like, water was starting to come up the street and fill up the parking lot. And my town is very close to, like, some really big rivers. So I'm kind of used to seeing that, and I didn't really think much of it, right? I'm like, oh, this is just kind of a good distraction. I'm just watching the water come in, and it'll be fine. And that was how I distracted myself until, thank God, my surgeon made it in and got the thing out of me. And it was, I scared him because I had a nerve attack as soon as they laid me down in the bed, and I scared the heck out of him, the poor guy. But again, as soon as it was out, nerve pain, done. And then I was able to sit up on my own, like, I was moving, and it was good. It was just normal soreness from then on. But so what happened then is they had to take an x-ray to make sure that didn't mess anything up. And so then I'm sitting there, like, just waiting to hear if everything's good or if I have to have the freaking tube put back in. And the whole day there's these announcements going on the overhead about employees who are parked in H6, please move your cars to another parking lot. And then an hour later, employees who are parked in H5, also please move to another parking lot. H4, we also need you to move to another parking lot. And, like, the whole day I'm watching out the window, and there's these people, like, beelining out to their cars, and I watched some guy actually come kayaking up the street into the parking lot, and the security got all mad. They're like, get out of here. And I was up on the 4th floor, so I had a pretty good view of all this, and I'm watching, the parking lot's just kind of filling up. Again, didn't think much of it. It's pretty normal, and we had a lot of rain. And so x-ray comes back fine. My surgeon tells my attending doctor, get her out of here. So normally discharged, normally they probably wouldn't have discharged me till the next morning because it was already kind of late in the day. And it normally takes a long time. There's a lot of red tape, and there's a lot of other stuff going on in the hospital, so it takes a long time to get discharged. But I'm Miss VIP, and the whole hospital knows me and knows my story. And so they actually got me discharged, like, boom, boom, boom. Like, it was like as soon as they got the x-ray, it was like, okay, out, and check, and sign this, and change, and call your ride home. And it was really fast. Like, we're talking, like, the span of like a half hour or something like that. And so all that went fantastic. And it was really weird to put clothes back on and, like, shoes back on. It was really strange. I'd been wearing a gown and socks for like 10 days. And I'm headed out of the hospital, and I get in the car, and I'm with my mom again, and I'm happy because I got to breathe outside air and feel, like, just nature for a little bit. And like, it's like 20 minutes later, we're like on our way home. And she's like, you got to see, downtown is really flooded. So we drive by downtown on the way home where the river is. And we're looking, and the river's really high. And we're like, oh my gosh. And and we're there downtown, and all our phones light up and tell us the dam burst. Get out. Like, they're like, we we live on a river, and Michigan has a lot of water and rivers and lakes, and upstream there's 2 big dams, and up river the dam burst right after I got out of the hospital. And so they actually had to start evacuating the hospital right after I left. So if my surgeon had done the procedure, even like if he had tried to come in like an hour later, it wouldn't have been able to be done because the like the sanitation pumps went out, so they wouldn't have been able to do it in a sanitized, in a sanitary way. And I would have been stuck in nerve pain for like another couple days while they either shipped me to another hospital, which I didn't want to do because the other hospitals are like, and they have more COVID cases, and I don't want to ride in an ambulance when I'm in nerve pain. And apparently the water went all the way up to the 3rd floor. So I probably would have been safe in my 4th floor room, but I would have been stuck there. And like I said, nothing could have been done. Like all the machines and stuff, like all would have been messed up. So I actually was very lucky. Like, I know it's weird to say that it's lucky that, this disaster happened. But I was very lucky to get out of the hospital right before that happened. And here's the cool thing. 11,000 people had to be evacuated. A lot of people lost their homes. A lot of places still don't really have electricity or water right now in my town. But no major injuries and no casualties. So it's really kind of amazing that so many people got the evacuation order and they followed orders and everyone was safe. And it's terrible how many people lost as much as they did, but nobody died and nobody got hurt. And that's a big deal too, considering what had to go on with the hospital. The fact that those patients, they're all doing okay, is a big deal. And don't worry about me. I'm on some of the highest ground in the town, and I'm on the opposite side of town from the river. So we didn't even get water in our basement. Our neighbors did, but we didn't even get water in our basement. We have electricity. We have drinkable tap water. They've told us it's fine because there's a huge chemical plant in our town. There's the world headquarters of the biggest chemical corporation in the world in our town, even though it's just like a little tiny town in the middle of nowhere. Dow Chemical is here. And we were a little worried that the chemicals would leak, but nothing there. So water's clean, air is clean, nothing going on there. I also was able to get my medications before things got crazy. And I'm with family, and I'm safe. I'm good. And that is the end of the story, folks. We arrive at where I am now, and I'm doing pretty good. I was able to take the bandages off yesterday, and that was scary, but it's okay. And I'm gonna be totally healed up, and we're managing the pain. Everything is good, and the waters are receding, so my town is already starting to get things back together. I don't know how many of you stuck around for the whole story, but if you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer some questions. If not, Siri, I give up. I give up on hiding. Like, I don't know why I don't tell people my town name. I don't care. Like, it's whatever. When does the movie come out? Yeah, that's a good question. I gotta tell you, like, my whole life has been like this. Like, it's always like a disaster happens, but it's like not bad enough to kill me, and it's not bad enough to like seriously affect me. It's just bad enough that like it's scary and inconvenient. Like, it's, like I didn't get COVID. I got a lung condition that put me in the hospital during COVID. Like, it's always like this. All my friends are always joking about how I have a comic book life, because it's like, it's just always ridiculous, like these terrorist attacks happen outside my window, but I'm fine. Like, it's weird. But I've definitely like got a new appreciation for like my health, and I have and a new understanding for the fact that like I'm not immortal, I'm not invincible, I'm not, like bad things can happen to me. Like, like you just always think that it's always somebody else. It's always somebody else. It's not going to be me, not going to be me. I'm strong, I'm healthy, I take good care of myself, and that's the thing, like spontaneous pneumothorax has nothing to do with any of that. You can be taking really good care of yourself and it just doesn't matter. So yeah, I have a new understanding of that, and a new appreciation for, like I said, my health, and how well things have gone in my life so far, health-wise. And I also, I am really humbled and amazed and grateful by what I saw in the hospital, by people who are doing life-changing things for others every single day, every hour of the day. I was taken such good care of, and such like loving, selfless care, like even when like I needed help to do everything and I was ringing the bell every 5 minutes, like even then, like even through these like horrifying nerve attacks where like I imagine it's pretty rattling to be in the room with someone who's like losing their mind. But they would help me like I'd sit down and then I'd get stuck and I couldn't move and I'd have to like try to get the button, like I can't, and they would come help me, and then I'd be up, and then I'd try to lie down, and then I'd be in pain again, and they were always there for me, always, always, always. And I just, especially considering like the family history with this hospital and with like thoracic surgery, I feel like it's been like not only a physical but also like an emotional healing, because I've found a lot of like forgiveness, and I don't have so much like mistrust. Like I'm not so jaded toward it anymore. Like I know that this hospital took really incredible care of me, and a lot more could have gone wrong. And so many things that did go wrong, they responded to immediately. And, I have such trust and respect for my surgeon. It's really very humbling to like owe your life to someone. And I can't even, like, that man is a saint. And I will never ever forget this level of truly deep gratitude, especially right now during this pandemic, when all of them are at constant risk more than anyone else, like it's just really incredible. All of you, I'm not sure if prayer is your thing, or if positive thoughts are your thing, or whatever's your thing. Just make sure you're keeping those medical workers in your thoughts, because they just do incredible things. There we go. I yapped for almost an hour and a half. But there you go, guys. That is the story. At least now, I don't think I'll have to repeat too much. You guys have a pretty good idea of like why I was gone for as long as I was gone. I'm really sorry that I couldn't stream, guys. I missed you like crazy. I missed singing, I missed my guitar, and I missed you guys. So I'm really glad to be back, and thank you. Thank you for waiting for me. Thank you for being here still, and thank you for taking really good care of me while I couldn't be here. You guys all just mean the world to me, and I don't know if you guys have noticed this little... Oh man. I wanted to thank Siri for the beautiful flowers, and thank you Siri's parents as well, for more beautiful flowers. And thank you, all of you, for all of the well wishes, and like I said, just for being here when I came back. It's really nice to come home to you guys. It's really, really nice. Yeah, so I guess it's time to see what I can do, you know? Cheers indeed, P59, and cheers to your health too. All of y'all take care of yourselves. Oh man. All right. What's the song that you guys have been missing the most? Is a good question. Ah, man. Oh, it feels good. It feels good to be back. Yeah, test drive, exactly. I don't think it's going to go too terribly because, like I was telling you guys, I did manage to sing 2 days ago, and I feel pretty good. I don't, like, I don't have as much air as before, but I'm very good at adjusting. You know, like, you guys know, like, when I'm sick or whatever, or when I'm like having an allergy day, or when I'm like tired, my body's very used to singing during weird conditions. So life is for living. Yeah, that's pretty good. This song just means even more because you really never know what's gonna happen. Oh man. All right. Life is for living 106. Wander Love. And that's right. Yeah. Well, I'm used to all the chatting, because I'll tell you, I have been on the phone for like ever. Just been on the phone constantly for all this time because, you know, my poor family, nobody could come visit me in the hospital. So they're all just like worried by themselves, and they can't visit each other. So yeah, gosh, the poor things. So, you know, they've been calling and so many people, you know, sending cards, and it's just so stinking sweet. I don't even know what to do with all the love. Oh man. All right. So this song, it's got a couple stronger notes, so there'll be a couple tests in here. But I promise I won't push too hard. So it might sound a little different. It might sound a little different than usual, but anybody waste their time like you. And I say, well, that's rude. Hurry up, moving up the ladder's tall. You're digging yourself a hole while instead. What's going on in your head? Let me tell you my philosophy. I said our things are for using, roads are for cruising, money is for spending, rules are for bending, and people are for loving. Baby, life is for living, baby. And yet you say, girl, where you going this time? Never seen anybody blow their bread on wine. And I say, pish, it's a fine wine. Settle down with a frown like the rest of us. Life got the best of us. You think the rules don't apply? Yeah. Listen again for my philosophy. I said our time is for passing, questions are for asking, places are for going, secrets are for knowing, and people are for loving. 'Cause life, it's for living, baby. Yeah. Life is for living, baby. Oh, I got a sight for your story eyes. I come back for all the advice you can't wait to give. Look at all this life we got got to live. Life's for living, let's live it. But you say, girl, what you doing with your life? Never seen anybody waste their time like you. And I say, oh, that's rude. Hurry up, moving up the ladder's tall. You say you're digging yourself a hole instead. What's going on in my head? I don't know. Let me tell you my philosophy. I said things are for using, roads are for cruising, money is for spending, rules are for bending, time is for passing, questions are for asking, places are for going, secrets are for knowing, and people are for loving, 'cause life is for living, babe. Life is for living, babe. Life's for living. Let's live it. It feels so good. It's definitely hard, but man, it feels good. And I just know it's gonna come back, you know? I know it's gonna come back. Gosh. I know I've been missing a lot of love from I haven't been, I've just been going a mile a minute, so I haven't been thanking you guys for love, but I'm gonna try to get back on it. P59, thanks for the horns, and Steph, thanks for the flowers, good to see you. Thank you, Steph, also for the flowers, and oh my gosh, I'm so bad at this scrolling thing. Janoy, thank you for the flowers. Really, truly, thank you guys. I'm gonna thank you midway for my leaderboard MVPs. Thank you so much. Thank you, Keith, and thank you, Ricky, and thank you, Siri, for all the love. Thank you, Swans. I think I saw that you're still here. Number one bestie. Nice. That's a cute name. You're a blessing too, Aaron. Gosh. It's like a workout, I'll tell you that. All right. Let's see. I think 106 will be exciting because it's so guitar heavy. And I just, gosh, have I missed my guitar. Holy cow. I'm glad I away from it for so long. I'm glad I didn't lose my calluses too much. I feel that they're a little bit thinner, but they're still pretty good. So I know those will come back real quick too. Swans, are you doing okay? Did my story make you really anxious? I hope it didn't scare you too much. You just got to remember that you're looking right at me and I'm doing really good, you know? Oof. That's the good stuff. That's the good stuff. Water. Aw. Thank you, number one bestie. I'm really happy that I'm back too. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Gosh. Ship over my inhaler. Oh man. I've never used an inhaler before. I wonder. Oh, I love this guitar. Just noticed it's gotten late, or is it early? 1:35, start to realize I'm ruining tomorrow for myself. 1:53, I agree to go to sleep at 2. 2:08, sleep can wait. I'm seeing everything so 2:18 in between dreams, though my eyes are still wide open. 2:24, I still ignore the shade of black beyond my window panes. 2:49, I draw the line, but time moves on. 3:02, I thought I knew better than to do this to myself. Right now, in the night, in the dark, my side of the world is sleeping soundly. After 3, the side of me in the looking glass unsightly. Got rid of 4, and what's more, the things I had to do aren't done. 5:15, more caffeine, 'cause soon I know earth come alive, reality will steal my paradise that I found in the night, in the dark. My side of the world is sleeping soundly. No wonder how come I fight to disregard all the rest of my world is asleep. Why dream away the time? Ooh, that song was interesting. It was like right on the cusp of like, it's, you know, like it's usually like a really comfortable spot for me, but it was like right in the middle of like, I don't know. It's like it's right in the difficult part. So that song's gonna be good for working my voice out, because it's very like, it's like right where I struggle right now. And it's got a couple like louder, more projected notes that will be good for me to work on. It's definitely a workout. Oh, Swans, I'm really glad to hear that it doesn't sound too different to you. Oh man. I know to some of you it might sound a little raw, and it might sound it's not quite as dialed in, you know, as before. I've got a little bit of practice and work and conditioning to do to get it like right back where I can perfectly control it, but But it's really a relief to be able to sing it all. Oh man. I'm healing more every day, and I haven't tried my spirometer today yet, but I am wondering, if I've gotten any more lung capacity. I'm getting a little bit back every day. I'm still at about half of what I was, I think, at my best. I think I was able to do like 4,000 milliliters, and yesterday I just barely made it to 2,000, but we'll get there. We will get there. Aw, thanks for the beautiful hearts, number one bestie. All right, P59, you also wanted to hear Wander Love. This song's gonna be really hard, I'll tell you that. But I definitely, I had another, I told you about it, I had another, experience in that same place where, where I, originally came up with the song. And, there you go. There's me back where, back where the flowers were. It was really nice to go back there, and it was a really pretty breezy day, and it was right before all this hospital nonsense went down. Yeah, that was really sweet of Sandra and Diana to drop in. Gosh. Very flattering. Yeah, I think I'm going to play it a little bit lower than usual. Although low is also difficult. Low requires a lot of air. Maybe I should do it high then. Thanks for the cool, Keith. Aw. Thanks, number one bestie. Yeah, I put that photo on Facebook to as part of my announcement, yo, I'm in the hospital having surgery. I thought it would be nice to post a bunch of pictures where I looked really strong and happy, so that people would be kind of reassured, oh, she can handle it. So I got together all of the pictures where I thought I was yeah, that's me. Also, it was amazing because I got out of the hospital, and now all the trees have leaves on them, and they have flowers on them, and there's flowers everywhere, and the grass is green, and the sky is blue, and it's warm outside. Oh, it's so nice. I was only gone for 10 days, and it feels like I was gone for a whole season. And so I'm really glad that I got out in time to see all the flowers. It's really pretty. One day when the wind was blowing up above post-Pangea cumulo-continental drift. Oh wow, I've been there, and what a blast it was. I said eyes are closed, and I put a finger on my past, but then it all dissolved into the blue, and I came to, what do I do now? What was my world? Was carried away on a windy day. One day when the sky overflowed, there were tears running up and down the windows. In my own, had been piling up in my eyes for a while. If I ask around, will someone know where they keep on running up from? Something's off again. I guess this isn't the city I was searching for. I hit the road, headed for what I don't know. Yeah, gotta get going fast, stepping on the gas. Don't you dare call it wanderlust. Yes, a wanderlust. I hit the road, got miles and miles to go. I'm already gone, I fell in wanderlust. One day when I sight up a storm out in front, it was like that night when it slipped my mind to turn on my lights before I pulled off down the street. If I drive right out of town, well, I meet up with when I was young. Probably not, but there's no stopping now. I make a break, gotta fall what's far away. Gotta get out of here, yanking on the wheel, higher and higher I will. I'm in wonder love. Oh, 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 but I know if by dreaming takes priority, everything I need could be while we're working on see. One of my skyward knows, yeah, that's what I've been told, but there's no helping me. No, 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 no. Yeah, I reap just what I sow, but no, not until tomorrow is here and right now. I just gotta go and go. I hit the road, headed for what I don't know. Yeah, gotta get gone fast, stepping on the gas. Don't you dare call it wanderlust. I hit the road, I hit it far, but I will know when to see it. Just a bit further now, down this rabbit hole I love. I fell in wonderland. Oh, 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 oh. Yeah, the home is where the heart is. My wonder loving heart and I hit the road. Oh, 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 oh. I got miles and miles and miles to go. I'm already gone. I'm in wonderland. Oh, 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 oh. I'm in wonderland. Oh, Ooh. I mean, that song was hard when I was like at full capacity, so that was definitely hard. Ugh. Woo. It's a good workout. It's a good workout. You're spot on, P59. El Nasa 2 or 7 8. Thank you for the heart and thank you for the follow. Thank you. That means I get to see you at future streams. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, speaking of keeping an eye on different devices, I'm not sure. I don't know if I've collected anybody on YouTube. I did go public on YouTube just in case there was anybody out there that who the heck is that? No, we're good, guys. We're good. I'm maintaining pretty much just on next. All right. There we go. Okay, I'm back. Need a quick stretch. Gosh. Let me just check. Just gotta make sure I'm still on schedule. So I took it at 12. 1, 2, 3. Okay. All right, we're good. Sorry, guys, just checking my med schedule. It's kind of nice to have the house to yourself sometimes, isn't it, Swans? What else do we got? Thank you guys for challenging me, because I probably would have wussed out and just done like quiet songs and so it's good. You guys gotta keep pushing me to keep those songs as active as I can. Less tea, more water. Oh, I know. I'll sing this one for Swans because she's been so worried. Hopefully it goes well. out of tune, and it's really ugly. Yes, exactly. P59. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Keith, thank you for the lightning and for the cool. And Lil Cherry, thanks for the clap. I like your name. I like cherries. That's better. That's the note I was looking for. All right. Gotta stay upright. Need all the lung capacity I can get. There's no distance I wouldn't go. No frame of time I wouldn't follow you for. No frame of mind I would let come in between. Ooh, So baby, just hold me. Let this moment go slowly. Let me forget you, wanna let go. Please hold me one more time before you go. So you're gonna go it on your own. But baby, there's nothing out there that isn't here. Nowhere to go that you can run from. I'm here. Nowhere I know that you can turn back the time. Yeah. Ooh, not all things new, I better believe. So baby, just hold me. Let this moment go slowly. Do you really think this is what your soul needs? Oh, is it so much to ask? Hold me one more time before you go. If you gotta go, won't you let me go with you? Can't I go? I just wanna go with you. Is that a no? Oh, can't I go? Then maybe just hold me. Let this moment go slowly. Let me forget you, wanna let go. Please hold me one more time before you go. Oh, is it so much to ask? Oh baby, just hold me. Let this moment go slowly. Do you really think this is what your soul needs? Ooh, is it so much to ask? Hold me one more time before you go. there's a way to adjust action at home. The action's really gotten high since the temperature change. And it's really hard. It's really hard on those higher notes. I shouldn't have to. So the action, you guys, I don't know, I told you guys, maybe I told you this before, but the action is like the angle of the neck. And if it angles too much, then the strings start to pull away from the neck at the base there. And that means that song in particular was very messy there. But I wonder if there's a way I can adjust it at home. I'm not sure. Can't really take it into the shop. Missed you a lot too, man in the back. Whoa, yeah, I guess you guys are right. It is in a few minutes. Oof. Let's see. What else have we got? Got the gurglies today. It's weird. It's not stomach gurglies anymore. It's lung gurglies. So weird. I did practice this. This was one of the first songs that I did when I first picked up the guitar again. So I know I can do this one. And then I think I'm gonna have to try and do Jukebox for you guys, aren't I? That's unavoidable. Just so you know, beforehand, I know it sounds like I'm playing a game, but I mean it when I say I'm so unavailable. I'm out of stock. I'm not a fish in anybody's sea. So please don't fall in love with me. I guarantee what you want out of me was never even up for grabs. Did you listen? I ain't got already. If you could look out through me, you would cry. 'Cause I don't wanna hurt no one no more. So now you know beforehand how it'll go. If you act like I'm playing a game, when I look at you and say I'm so unavailable, I'm out of stock. I'm not a fish in anybody's sea. So please don't fall in love with me. It's very interesting to hear the differences. She did. She worked Jukebox, and no kidding. Oh man, I wish I could have heard that / seen it. Oh man. Oh, P59. You guys got to hear some difference. I feel like I sound a little bit like shakier and the notes are a little strange, but at least there's semi coming out. It's hard to sustain them, but I will get there. I can feel that I'm getting stronger every day. So, gosh, these bangs. So goofy. You guys are too sweet. You're too sweet. Oh, a hiccup. A sign of returning to normalcy. All right. It's that time. Let's do it. Jukebox. Where is it? I mean, I'm sure I've still got it memorized, but just in case. Let's, dun, 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 dun. Oh, man. I love how this rabbit is just, like, chilling here. Oh. You guys are so sweet. Thank you. You know, that really means a lot to me for, like, cause I mean, I'm obviously gonna be really, like, anal and ridiculous about it. Like, it doesn't sound the same. But for you guys to come here and tell me that, like, it's still the voice that you came for, that makes me really relieved and happy. So thank you so much. You guys are so sweet. Gosh. Oh, good. The man in the back's here just in time. Yeah, that would have been nice. We could have had the hiccup issue addressed while I was in there. Who knows? Maybe it's the permanent hiccups that popped my lung in the first place. Oh man. Oh, you guys are making my cheeks hurt from all the smiling. All right. Jukebox. All right. Oh boy. This song really escalates, so this is going to be a fun workout too. You bet I'll play your favorite song. Kind of night tonight. The only familiar faces, the regulars. And the man in the backseat, he said, play my favorite song of yours. Play my favorite song. Play my favorite song of yours. I know it's your favorite too. I know it's your favorite too. I bet more going on tonight. A birthday crowd came rolling in. It's a Saturday with a man in the back on, a man in the back on. I wish the man in the back come back now. He'd say, play my favorite song of yours. Play my favorite song and play my favorite song of yours. Well, you don't gotta listen to the fool. jukebox. You ain't a jukebox, so play your music. Play my favorite song of yours. Play my favorite song. Oh, won't you play my favorite song of yours? I know I gotta earn my breath somehow, some way. So I've been giving in a little lately. But every time, yeah, every single time I get caught up singing a song ain't mine. Well, my fingers say, my mind say, my mouth say, my heart say, play my favorite song of mine. Play my favorite song. I'm gonna play my favorite song of mine. Yeah, yeah, I ain't gonna listen to the fools. I never wanna hear nothing new. 'Cause I ain't a jukebox, I ain't a jukebox, I ain't a jukebox. Gonna play my music, play my favorite song of mine. Play my favorite song. I'm just gonna play my favorite song of mine. Yeah. And I'ma make it, gonna make it your favorite too. Gonna make it your favorite too. I'm gonna make it your favorite too. Your favorite too. Oh man. Yeah, that's right. So tomorrow it is scheduled to be a 2-hour show. I might shorten it to 1. just to be careful. But then I think I'll keep Sunday as a 2-hour show, if that's all right. But yeah, I will be back tomorrow. Yeah, we're gonna do just kind of a gradual reincorporation, because today I talked a lot, and then I did maybe like 40 minutes of singing. So tomorrow we're gonna try for a bit more singing, and then we'll see how Sunday goes. And yeah. Thank you guys so much for being here for my homecoming. I'm really glad I got to hang out with you all. And now I'm just going to go outside and do some breathing exercises and get myself all rested up for tomorrow. So thank you guys so much for being here, and and for sitting through the story time. I love you guys all so much, and I just am really glad that you're all here for me to come back to. I just really appreciate you guys waiting for me, and I'm glad that it wasn't a more serious issue, and I'm glad to be on the mend, and I'm glad to be back with you guys again. These were flowers that were sent to me, but also they're flowers for you guys today. So thank you so much. Thank you. I love you all so much. Oh man. Jukebox is challenging. I never thought it was challenging. All right, you guys. I'm gonna let you go so I can go eat lunch and rest up a little bit. But all of you take good care of yourself. I will be back tomorrow. I think I'm gonna shorten it to a 1-hour show, but I will be back. And thank you especially to my leaderboard MVPs. Thank you, Keith, really, and then probably Keith. Thank you as well, and thank you, Ricky. And yeah, thank you so much for your patience, everyone. Thank you, and thanks for third place, Keith. So glad to be back. So glad to be back. All right. I will see you guys again soon. I'll be back tomorrow and Sunday and the next day and the next day and the next day. I'm sorry for the time that I broke my promise. I never thought there would be anything that would stand in the way of me streaming every day. I never thought I'd be hospitalized for that long. Eesh. 10 days is a long time, you guys. 10 days is a long time. And 2 weeks is a long time to have a pop shalom. Ooh. All right, you guys. Yeah. I know, right? Jeez. Thank you guys for keeping me on the leaderboard even when I wasn't streaming. It really means a lot to me. It's almost like, I'm really used to working as an independent and not having benefits, like not having like dental and visions and whatever insurance covered by my employer, right? But it's kind of cool because like here working for Next, it's almost like you guys were able to cover me, like for like a paid sick leave or something. So, you guys are the greatest. I love y'all so much. But I'm going to rest up and I will see you guys again tomorrow. Love you all so much. Seriously. Oh man. Take good care and I'll see you again soon, I hope. All of you, for those of you who are first time viewers, my name is Mio. I'm a solo acoustic singer-songwriter based in mid-Michigan in the Midwest of the U.S. And I just got out of the hospital. So thank you for coming and supporting me, even though I'm not quite at 100% yet. And yeah, thank you all so much. Again, really nice meeting you, any of you who are first timers. I promise there's going to be more and more music as things go on. And it was really nice to be able to sing some favorites for you guys today. I'll be back tomorrow and there will be lots and lots of singing from now on. And thank you guys so much. That last song I played was Jukebox, which is my latest single. If you'd like to give a listen to the studio version, do check it out on Spotify. And that's what it'll look like. And it's also available for download on my Bandcamp, which can be accessed via Instagram. Head over to songwriter.mio, click the link in my bio, and it'll take you to all of my discography, including Jukebox and my debut EP, Debatable Happiness, and my J-pop single, Try Again. All right, you guys. I love y'all so much. Hope to see you again soon. Hope to see you again soon as well, Tyler. Thank you for popping in. And bye Swans, bye P59, bye Keith, bye Ricky. I know I missed saying bye to Siri because I was in the middle of a song, but love you all lots. See you again soon. Bye guys. Bye. Mwah.